This morning, I sit by the half-opened window. The first light slips gently through the blinds, so soft that I hardly dare to move, afraid to break the stillness. The world outside has already begun to stir. The distant sound of cars, the call of birds, and another new day arrives, just like any other. Yet inside me, something is still unsettled. It is not fear, nor sadness, but the feeling of being misunderstood. A small scratch on the heart, yet deep enough to make it tighten whenever I remember. There are people I love, but it seems they cannot see the whole of my heart. They hear my words, but not the ache within them. And sometimes, the ones closest to me are the ones who make me feel the most distant. I've tried to explain, tried to make others understand me better, but the more I spoke, the more tangled things became. At some point, I realized there are things that cannot be expressed in words, and some wounds can only be healed by silence. I look out the window. The sunlight now spreads across the rooftops, and I see that perhaps God is still there, quietly warming the world even when no one notices. Maybe that is how He loves, silently, gently, without needing to be understood. And if He can love in silence, then I can learn that too, to keep walking in love, even when no one truly understands my heart. This morning, I do not seek to prove anything. I do not need to speak much or be right. I only want to begin again with a heart a little softer, a little lighter, and a little more open to the peace of God. I want to learn to pause before reacting, to breathe before feeling hurt, and to choose love before speaking in anger, because I know being understood is not the most important thing. It is keeping a kind heart even when misunderstood. Lord, as I sit in the stillness of this morning, I realize that only You understand everything within me. You know the wounds I hide, the words I cannot say, and the tears that fall in silence. You understand me not through reason, but through love, a love that needs no explanation. And because You know me so, I want to begin this day with gratitude. Thank You for never misunderstanding me. Thank You for seeing the good in me, even when I can no longer see it myself. Thank You that in a world full of noise, You still choose to speak to me through silence. This morning, I offer You all the misunderstandings, the distances, and the things I have not yet healed. Please use this morning light to shine into the dim corners of my heart, those places that have shrunk from pain, and teach me to love again with a new heart. Because when I love, I begin to be understood, not by others, but by You, the one who is always there, gentle, in the midst of everything left unsaid. The morning is still quiet. Outside the window, the light is growing, as if the whole world were listening along with me. In that silence, I want to let God's word touch my heart, like a pure drop of dew falling after a long night of misunderstanding. Of course, bro. Below is the faithful American English translation of the entire passage you sent, from Anj Hai Maklay Long Thuong Shot, down to Konja Kong Juoch Hiu, Nhung Kon Jab Yet Yu. No additions, no omissions. Completely true to your original tone and rhythm. Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with one another and forgive one another. If anyone has a complaint against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. Colossians 3:12-13. Lord, I read these words slowly so that every syllable can sink into the deepest part of my heart. Compassion when I want to resist, kindness when I feel wounded, gentleness when I can choose silence instead of argument. And forgiveness, when I no longer have the strength to explain. I realize that you never told me I must be understood, but you taught me to clothe myself with mercy, like a garment that shields the soul from the coldness of judgment. You did not ask me to prove right or wrong, but only invited me to keep loving, even in silence. These verses do not come as dry instruction, but as a gentle hand resting upon my shoulder, a quiet whisper. My child, no one ever fully understands another. That is why we need compassion. And suddenly I see, every misunderstanding is no longer just a wound, but an invitation to grow in love. For only when I am misunderstood do I learn how to love without condition. Only when I feel lonely do I learn that true love needs no audience. It only needs God's presence. I think of the times I too have misunderstood others. Perhaps in those moments, I also made someone hurt the way I do now. And I understand, forgiveness is not only giving, but also a way of returning to the gentleness within myself. Lord, teach me to love others as you have loved me, not needing to be loved back, not needing to be praised, only to be faithful in love. Let your word become the rhythm of my breath this morning, so that each time I feel misunderstood, I will remember you too were misunderstood, but you still chose to love to the very end. Because in the end, what heals the heart is not vindication, but being understood more deeply in the light of your word. And in that light, every misunderstanding becomes like a thin mist, soon to fade away when the sun of mercy truly rises. Lord, I come to you this morning, not with beautiful words, but with a heart still carrying its wounds. I don't want to hide, nor pretend to be fine. You know, behind every smile and every "I'm okay" is a soul struggling to find a place to rest. There are days when I feel as though I'm speaking in a language out of tune, when what I say with good intent seems insincere and love is mistaken for weakness. I've tried to stay silent, but silence made me seem distant. I've tried to explain, but words only made the gap wider. And I realize not everyone can truly understand another's heart, even when we try our best. There are nights I lie staring at the ceiling, asking, God, why do I feel lost among people I know so well? I'm not angry, just tired. Tired not from work, but from trying to become the version of myself that others expect me to be. I remember the times I forced a smile to hide the ache, because I was afraid that if I showed the truth, they would leave. But this morning, I want to stop pretending. I want to sit still and be honest with you, that I am hurt, that I'm still afraid of being misunderstood, and that I don't know what to do with the growing distance between my heart and the world. Please, see me as I am, not through anyone else's lens. I don't want to keep building walls inside my heart. Each time I try to protect myself, I feel farther away from you. Teach me how to be bare in love, without defense, without needing to be understood, just being real and letting you touch me. Because when I dare to be weak before you, that's when I begin to be strong. When I stop striving to be understood, that's when I start to understand others. And when I choose to love, even in silence, that's when I walk closer to your image. Give me the courage to love without expecting return, to be gentle without fearing judgment, to be kind without feeling small. Grant me calm enough to smile when I'm misunderstood, because I know you still see me. Remind me that one reaction can win an argument. but only kindness can heal a wound. Sometimes I think, if they understood me, things would be different. But then I realize there are things only God can understand. For people see with their eyes, but you see with the heart. And because of that, I don't need to shout to be heard. I just need to sit still and let you reach me. Teach me to slow down before I feel sad, to breathe deeply before I react, to smile softly before I resent. Help me not to lose the tenderness of my heart, even when life feels rough. Because I know gentleness is not weakness, it is courage. The courage to choose love when anger would be easier. This morning, I place every misunderstanding in your hands. The things I cannot fix, the people I cannot please, and the wounds I cannot explain. Please take them all, turn them into seeds of peace, so that as the day passes, I can look back and say, I was not understood, but I have learned to love. Of course, bro. Here's the faithful American English translation, completely accurate to your Vietnamese text. No additions, no omissions, no rephrasing. Lord, when my heart feels narrow because of the things that are unfair, please help me return to the safest place, your heart. There, no one asks, why are you sad? No one demands that I prove I am right. There is only gentle presence and a love big enough to hold all that is not yet understood. You are the place where I can finally exhale after all the days I tried to pretend to be fine. The place where I can stay silent and still be heard. The place where I do not need to hide my tears because you have seen them, understood them, and loved me through them. Please keep me in that refuge so that even when the world outside is still loud, I may rest in the peace of your heart. Dear Lord, there are fears buried so deep that I dare not name them. The fear of being seen wrongly, judged, or left out. The fear that makes me draw back, choosing silence not because of peace, but because I am afraid of being hurt one more time. But this morning, I want to set that fear down. Please help me believe that I do not need to be understood by everyone. I only need to be loved by you. Because your love is enough to fill every empty space. Please take away my need to please everyone and grant me freedom in your truth. Remind me that my worth does not come from praise or criticism, but from the fact that I belong to you. Lord, please protect my heart from becoming hardened. Do not let me grow cold because I have been hurt, nor indifferent because I have been judged. Teach me how to stand in the world and remain gentle, to see others not through my wounds, but through your merciful eyes. If someone has hurt me, help me pray for them. If someone has not understood me, help me not to close my heart, because I believe only when I choose to forgive am I truly protected, not by walls, but by kindness, the strongest shield of all. Lord, to love while being misunderstood is not easy, but please give me the courage to love anyway, not through feelings, but through daily choice. Give me the strength to stay silent when attacked, to smile when looked down upon, to be gentle when my heart wants to fight back. Teach me to love not because it is returned, but because that is how you love the world. Help me learn to bring light, not through argument, but through gentleness and truth, so that every small act, every soft word may become a witness of your mercy. I remember Saint Therese of the Child Jesus, who chose the little way, the way of quiet love. In her convent, when she was misunderstood, she did not defend herself or complain. She only smiled and offered her pain to God. like a small bouquet, so that His love could spread its fragrance even in hidden places. Lord, please teach me to live that little way too, to turn every misunderstanding into a chance to love more deeply, to see You in every difficult person, and to smile, not because things have become easier, but because I know You are turning every wound into grace. Lord, the world today is too quick to judge and too slow to listen. People draw conclusions after only a few lines, speak harsh words after a single click, and so many hearts are broken by needless misunderstandings. Please help me, and all of us, to pause for 1 second before we speak, to think a little before we comment, and to love a little more before we judge. Make me a small grain of salt to soften the bitterness of this world. Let me spread kindness like a small light shining through the long night of judgment, because I believe only love can heal misunderstanding, and only mercy can conquer fear. Please begin that work in me, so that each day I live may stand as proof that, even when I am not understood, I still choose to walk in love. Sometimes I think, if the world could listen to one another for just a minute longer, perhaps there would be far fewer wounds. And if someone, in the middle of an argument, would stop to ask, "Are you okay?" maybe a soul could be saved from despair. Help me become someone who listens, not to reply, but to understand, to look for what is good in others before seeing their flaws. Grant me patience with those who are not easy to love, for sometimes they are only hurting and do not know how to say it. May the love I give to life not depend on whether I am understood, but on Your presence. The one who always understands, always believes, always loves, even when I am weak. And when the day grows brighter, when the noise of the world returns, keep a small quiet space in my heart, enough to remember that every word I speak, every act I do, if not born from love, is meaningless. The morning grows brighter still. Sunlight streams through the window, touching every corner of the room, and I feel my heart grow lighter. No more questions, no more unfinished words, only a deep, quiet peace. I am grateful to still be sitting here, to still be breathing, to still have a heart that beats after restless days. Grateful that there are still people I can love, even if that love is not always understood. Grateful that in a world full of judgment, there are still arms that welcome me back for no reason at all. There are times when my loved ones and I cannot speak to each other, not because the love is gone, but because each of us is tired and no one has enough calm left to listen. But I believe, as long as love remains, everything will soften again. I think of my parents, those who sometimes do not speak much. Of course, bro. Here's the faithful American English translation of your full text, line by line, completely accurate and natural in tone. No additions, no omissions, no rephrasing. But they still care for me in every meal and every night's rest. They don't always understand me, and I don't always understand them. Yet love still lingers somewhere in the small things, in their eyes, in the familiar reminders repeated again and again. If ever I have made them sad, please help me say sorry, through action, through sincere care, not just through a few quick words. If there is still something unhealed at home, please give me gentleness to mend it, patience to listen, and courage to say, "I love you, Mom and Dad," even if those words often remain stuck in my chest. I am also grateful for the things that seem small. A meal still warm with steam, a message asking how I am, a morning shared over a cup of coffee. They are not perfect, but they are what keep me from drifting away in the rush of life. I once thought happiness meant being understood by everyone, but now I see. Happiness is still having enough love, even when no one fully understands my heart. It's being thankful, even when yesterday held a bit of sadness. It's still seeing beauty, even when life isn't always gentle. Thank you for the love that still surrounds me, even when it's clumsy. Thank you for still having a home to return to, even if it's not always peaceful. Thank you that each morning I am allowed to begin again, to be forgiven, and to be loved just as I am. If something today makes my heart lose its way, please remind me. True peace does not lie in being understood, but in still choosing to love, to give thanks, and to believe that you are holding my hand on every road I walk. The morning is now fully bright. Sunlight covers the porch, and everything seems softer. I hear the rustling of leaves outside the door, the sound of people passing by, the hum of life beginning again. Yet amid all these sounds, I still want to keep a little quiet for myself. The quiet of morning, the quiet of a soul just touched by you. Today, I don't ask for a perfect day, only for a calm heart to live each hour well. Help me smile, even when things don't go as planned. Grant me grace to not carry yesterday's wounds into today, and remind me that everything I face today, even the smallest thing, is a chance to love once more. I want to carry this warmth with me, the warmth of peace newly planted. I want to look at people with gentler eyes, speak to them with a softer voice, and listen more than I react. Because I understand, everyone carries stories untold, fears unspoken, and misunderstandings not yet healed. And sometimes, just a little tenderness is enough to heal it all. If my heart wavers today, help me return to this place of peace, the place where the morning began, where you are still waiting with gentle light. Help me believe that nothing is too small in your eyes, not even a whispered prayer or a thankful breath. Thank you for being here, in this small room, in this heart, in every word I've just spoken. Thank you for loving me not because I'm capable, but simply because I am yours. And in that love, I find the courage to begin again. As I rise and step out from this moment into the new day, I don't want to carry worry, only peace. Not carry pain, only gratitude. Not carry the fear of being misunderstood, only the gentleness you have just planted in my heart. Let today be my way of saying thank you through action. May every look, every word, every deed I do become a living prayer, quiet, yet full of grace. And when the day ends, I want to look back and smile that I was not perfect, but I have loved, truly. Amen.